As you're going turnips, it's time for another Black Ops 2 weapon guide, and today we're going to move on to a couple of the little secondaries and we're going to take a look at the B23R. The number of secondary weapons in Black Ops 2 is very low in comparison to previous Call of Duties. You've only got a choice of a few handguns, a few launchers and those specials. So today's featured weapon, the B23R, is a pistol, and it's unlocked pretty early on at level 19 and it quickly became one of the favourites amongst the community. If you haven't used up all your pick 10 points for perks, then the B23R is definitely the sidearm of choice for most players. The name B23R and the fact that this weapon is a 3-round burst pistol does give you a little bit of deja vu from Modern Warfare 2. Back in that game we had those cool M93 Rafficas, which were based on the real life Beretta 93R. But in Black Ops 2, despite the B23R's name and its configuration in that 3-round burst mode, it's not actually based on the real life Beretta 93. As you can see by the overall appearance of this weapon, it's got much more similarities to custom 1911 models, and there's a great example on the Internet Movie Firearm Database website which shows the Straya Infinity 1911, which looks almost identical to the B23R in game, right down to the styling of the custom trigger and the hammer. But nevertheless, it's safe to say that the B23R does have some similarities to that old M93 Raffica, and being a 3-round burst pistol, it is nice to mix things up a little bit as opposed to just having semi-automatic or full automatic pistols or machine pistols. So let's jump straight into this guide and take a look at some of the B23R's general features. Damage figures for the B23R in Black Ops 2 are 45 to 19, that equates to a 3 to 6 shot to kill. In a recent patch, the headshot multiplier of the B23R was eliminated, so that means getting a headshot no longer reduces the required shots to kill. Being a 3-round burst weapon means you can get your kills in 1 to 2 bursts. That's if all 3 shots from each burst actually land a hit. Then while the recoil of this weapon doesn't feel very high, if you continuously spam the trigger you will find that the weapon drifts vertically off target. And the iron sights on this weapon are perfectly usable. In Black Ops 2 we've got that cute little red dot sight attachment available, but it's not really required in any of the pistols. So moving on, let's take a look at some more detailed stats of the B23R. The magazine for the B23R weighs in at 15 rounds, that's on par with the Cap 40, which is the other automatic pistol, but it's not quite as high as the large mag of the 5.7, which weighs in with 20 rounds. With that 3-round burst mode, it means you're going to be able to get 5 shots from each magazine, so depending how trigger happy you are with your sidearms, you may or may not find the extended mag attachment worthwhile. If you did decide to run that extended mag attachment, it boosts the magazine up to 21 rounds, which gives you that extra allowance of 2 full bursts. The overall fire rate of the B23R works out at 703 rounds per minute. That's not quite as fast as some of the other weapons, but it's definitely faster than the speed of which you'd be able to fire a semi-auto pistol. The reload time of this weapon isn't too good at all when compared to the other pistols at 1.62 seconds. But overall 1.62 seconds isn't too slow, and it's quite easy to change out that mag without being left at too much of a disadvantage. And to cover some general stats for the pistols, you get the fastest aiming speed in the game at 0.13 seconds, and you maintain that full movement speed of 100%. So in terms of sidearms in Black Ops 2, you've kind of got 3 main choices. You either go for that semi-automatic TAC 45 with its nice 2-shot kill up close, or on the opposite end of the scale you've got that Cap 40, which is fully automatic and weighs in with a 937 rounds per minute fire rate. The disadvantage to this is that extremely high recoil and the fact that you can blaze through that magazine in a split second, making taking out multiple targets very difficult. So the B23R kind of fits in the middle ground. It's got that burst mode which makes taking out an enemy quite easy, since you don't have to keep spamming that trigger. But on the other hand, that burst mode also helps conserve your ammo. Maybe not quite as much as a semi-auto pistol, but you won't find yourself blazing through the magazine as quick as you would with the Cap 40. For this reason, it's become quite a reliable sidearm. It's definitely a good choice for anyone running a sniper rifle. You can quite easily go pistols only with the B23R and stay pretty competitive at close range. That burst mode means you can quite easily share out shots across 2 or 3 bad guys, especially with the help of that extended mag attachment, which grants you 7 bursts overall. With pick 10 points being quite valuable, you don't really want to waste them on attachments for your sidearm, unless of course you're running a fun pistols only setup. But in most loadouts you'd be more worthwhile putting those points towards perks. So that's another reason why the B23R is a good choice, because it works perfectly well out of the box with no attachments at all. On the other hand, you've got the likes of the Cap 40, which could really do with that extended mag attachment to increase that 15 round mag up to 20. so you don't prematurely spend your load and get literally caught with your pants down in a firefight. So talking about attachments, let's move on and take a look at my recommendations of an attachment configuration for your B23R in Black Ops 2. Now I know already that there's about 10 people typing out down in the comments that you can't possibly equip 3 attachments like I've depicted in this guide. With that secondary gunfighter wildcard you can run a maximum of 2 attachments, but because there's so many good attachments for the B23R, I thought I'd stick with my usual layout of 3 attachments so I can talk about 3 viable choices. So first up, my most recommended attachment is the extended clip. That's going to boost that 15 round magazine up to 21, granting you an extra 2 bursts from your weapon. I found myself being a little trigger happy in game, and I'd often fire out 3 bursts for any 1 bad guy, so I'd often find myself having to reload because I'd not left enough ammo for the next enemy. So that extended mag attachment just gives you that extra buffer, so you're less likely to get gunned down after you've exhausted your magazine. Alternatively, it could enhance the B23R's close range deadliness with the laser sight. If you're using this weapon as a secondary, then that laser sight really does come in handy because often you'll just fire this thing from the hip in that last attempt to secure a kill once you've exhausted the magazine from your primary weapon. If you were going pistols only though, that fast 0.13 second aiming speed is quite fast enough just to snap on target quickly without really needing to think about hip firing to save time in a firefight. But otherwise an unusual attachment for the B23R is the suppressor. Reducing the range on weapons that require a 6 shot to kill at long range isn't usually a good idea, but seeing as the B23R's 3 round burst, you can get those long range kills in 2 full bursts, then the suppressor isn't really a bad idea when you consider those extra stealth benefits. The B23R is lots of fun when you combine that suppressor with the extended clip and use it as a pistols only loadout. Equip the ghost perk, lightweight, extreme conditioning and that suppressor, you can flank around the back of the bad guys and quite easily take out multiple enemies before being spotted. If you were looking to run a pistols only setup, then you could maybe use that secondary gunfighter wildcard to pick and choose between these 3 attachments. Maybe go with the extended clip and the laser sight, or the extended clip and the suppressor, or maybe suppressor and laser sight. Either setup's going to work perfectly well, it just depends on your own personal playstyle. Alternatively, you could also go with the long barrel attachment, which only increases that 3 hit kill range of this weapon by about 15%. But that extra long barrel on the model of this weapon makes it much more reminiscent of Robocop's awesome machine pistol. And you can definitely be sure that I'll be creating a Robocop themed loadout in the near future, of course featuring this B23R. So let me know down in the comments which sidearm you often run in your own loadouts. If you are a fan of this B23R, or if you just enjoyed my guide or learnt anything new, I'd love a thumbs up down below to help spread the word, share the video with your friends. Don't forget, if you've just stumbled across my videos, you can subscribe to stick around for plenty more of these Black Ops 2 weapon guides. And if you're keen to see that Robocop loadout featuring the B23R, that subscribe button is going to be the best way to be the first to check it out. I'm always open to recommendations on which weapons you'd like to see me cover in the near future, so make suggestions down in the comments or over on my Facebook or Twitter pages. Links to both those profiles down in the description. So that's about it for my guide to the B23R. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you all later.